Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 293.
293.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mousefan Travel. We're heading into the end of the holiday season in the next few weeks, really early January. If you're interested in traveling for the holidays or after that, let's say for the Epcot International Festival of the Arts, check out MEI Travel and Mousefan Travel. They have 20 years of experience and I believe almost or more than 80 agents.
So be sure to check them out. They can really do it all.
Yes, and we are really glad to have them as a sponsor. And we did go to Disneyland Paris, as we mentioned that we would. About a half hour before we boarded, I learned that my father had passed away. My family said just to keep going, and we did. It wasn't
Wasn't an easy trip.
And I didn't make it into the park even, like one day I wasn't really in the park too much, but it was overall a good trip once the shock wore off.
Well, the people helped.
Well, we have a lot of friends over at Disneyland Paris, so we're going to talk about my dad just a little bit next week, not this week, because we have the funeral coming up and everything, and I'm kind of saving it all for that at the moment. And but anyway, we're just going to talk about Disneyland Paris now.
Right. So at the end of next week's show, we'll have a little tribute to Denise's father, who is really a tremendous, tremendous person and has done a lot of good for a lot of people over the years. But Anyway, we'll save that. And we're going to talk about our trip to Disneyland Paris now.
So sorry about the tone. It really set the mood for the trip, even though we had a really good time. But both parks are beautiful for the holidays, and it really made a difference, especially for me last week.
And here we are. It's bright and early. One thing about Disneyland Paris is if you have the annual pass, you're able to go in for extra magic hours, it's almost dark. The camera lightens it up a lot from what it really looks like. You could see, though, it was very dark. I guess it was about, 8 o'clock when we recorded this?
Well, probably about 8:15. Around 8 a.m., it's still almost pitch black, and you see the lights on the tree and the sparkly trees. And, I really enjoy being here for Christmas. And, if it's gray out all day, you see lights on all day, which it's gray out a lot.
It really feels like Christmas. Not to mention the weather. Come for the park and stay for the weather, Curious Axel says, because it's very cold and wintry like there, at least when we were there.
Well, it wasn't, you know what? I think it was not as bad as it could have been. Like it was in the kind of the 40s, 50s, as opposed to like the 20s, 30s.
True.
And we even got almost up to 60 one day. But you can see the garland looks really beautiful looking down Main Street at Sleeping Beauty Castle. And my favorite time was coming in the morning and just having this peaceful time in the park.
Yeah, it's like Disney after hours. There's hardly anybody in the park at that time. And, now we're going to see some characters. Here is Marie.
Yes, and, I really needed Marie hugs. That's what I needed. And, she, I am such a big fan of cats, just cats in general. And, she was kneading her paws, and that was such a sweet meet and greet. She is wearing her 25th anniversary bow. I'm not really sure why some of the characters are in their 25th anniversary outfits.
Yeah, they went with the blue. There's a lot of blue all around Town Square is a blue motif. And I was told that is sort of a holdover from the 25th anniversary holidays. So it used to be red, a lot of red and green. But as you can see, it's still blue. There's Scrooge wanting more money than I was willing to give him.
And you can see on like Duffy and Donald and just portraits on the trees. And it really, the lines here for characters, even where they are in an easy place for guests to see,
right,
is not too bad. We didn't wait that long for Scrooge. You didn't wait too long for Scrooge.
Yeah, it was maybe 10 minutes, and he actually had to take a break during that. So even with that, it was a very quick to meet him.
And I really, I like having the different characters and different costumes.
Now this character did always seem to have a long line. We actually got there before that. He started at 10. We probably got there at about quarter to 10, and it wasn't too bad, but when we left, the line was all the way out and around outside the gate.
And this is for Sandy Claus. he does not meet with Sally as he does actually right now at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party here in Orlando.
That was a new
in Walt Disney
development,
World.
though. Very
Yes.
new.
And this is the new, I don't want to say new gazebo. I'm not sure if the gazebo is new, but he used to have a different meet and greet for years. And now this is in the Phantom Manor area. And just as we're watching him, I'm going to mention Phantom Manor currently is scheduled to open in April. But before that, it was March. And before that, I think it was February. So
At one point, it was October.
well, that's what we heard, but I don't know if that was official. But right now we're looking at, I think Disney actually says spring. So whenever, that could be up to June. So don't make any plans yet for Disneyland Paris if you're really wanting to see Phantom Manor.
And we do really want to see
Yes.
Phantom Manor, so we will plan it once it's officially announced. I cannot wait to see the new updated Manor. And I should mention that Sandy Claus was awesome, and he speaks multiple languages, so very impressive at Mr. Jack Skellington.
And we are on the omnibus now going down Main Street, which was really nice. It was not out every day. At least I didn't see it every day. There were other Main Street vehicles out. And then also the 25th anniversary statues were painted just in bright colors, more holiday colors, like the, I don't know if we'll be looking at them, but Donald and Daisy and Mickey and Minnie. And I think they look better than ever.
Oh yeah, we'll see them a little bit later. Right now we're going to set the stage though for the Advent calendar show they do every morning. I think there's a schedule for it as well.
Well, I was going to say, this is every day up till Christmas and December. This is just a little show. There was actually quite a few guests, and we're going to see Goofy coming in a second.
The Enchanted Advent
Yes.
calendar. You're right. And it's not always Goofy. Apparently they have different Disney characters that'll come out and help with opening one of the boxes every day.
And I think this was the longest we waited for almost any show. Like,
Yeah, unbelievable.
maybe because there's just a fairly limited amount of standing space here. But the thing about okay, I looked up facts and figures for Christmas at Disneyland Paris. There seemed to be none. So we're just kind of winging it today. But the Advent calendar, this child is going to open one of the windows or help open one of the windows. And then I believe he gets the gift inside.
Yes, the volunteer does get the gift. That I know.
And so then let's say it is an ornament. Then you can go and buy the ornament. Although I don't think it's like out only that day. That ornament might have been out like a week ago.
Yeah, this one here that I'm going to show a close-up of after, that has been available our entire trip. So it's, there's, as I always say about Disneyland Paris, no rules.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. There's the ornament with Mickey kissing Minnie, and then there's a separate Mickey and a separate Minnie. And those were available the whole time.
Yeah, I don't really understand. I don't personally quite understand the point of it, but it's a cute little show, and it had Goofy, and the child received a free gift. Also, we did not, for some reason, end up meeting Thumper
rabbits,
and
yes.
Miss Bunny, but we did get to see them. And they were cute, and they're very popular here, but they don't meet together, so that's probably the big reason we didn't go meet them.
So we're now going to take a little look at some of the decorations around Main Street, including the Main Street vehicles. We were just on the omnibus, and that was fully decked out for the holidays. And here is the paddy wagon, which we've ridden before. And I know Denise loves the windows, so here is one of the windows with Huey, Dewey, and Louie in there.
I do. I love the windows at Disneyland Paris. Sometimes they've been a little off on season this year, like where there'd be a springtime window for Halloween for some reason.
It's part of the charm.
Yeah, but previously I hadn't noticed that. Anyway, I really love the windows, and the Christmas windows are fantastic. However, the parade is what I watched the most by far of anything. And I went it played twice a day, each day. Plus they had their normal parade, the Stars on Parade.
Yeah, the first time I saw you smile was when you were watching the parade. You love this. You love the music. I think you especially love Goofy here.
Well, I had already seen this like 1,000 times on YouTube because I just love it so much.
Yeah, like in July, I'll be working in the office and I'll hear this parade music and I'll go out and there's Denise with a big smile on her face. So you've been anticipating this for a long time.
Well, it was very, I've never seen it in person, but it was very familiar for me. So I really love it. And this is probably my favorite Christmas parade now, at least that I've seen in person.
And it's snowing. It's snowing on Main Street.
But not real snow. It's snowing on Main Street. But it looks so real, especially with the way the clouds are and everything. you can't really tell the difference.
And there is Tinkerbell. She has the star of the tree there, so she's eventually going to put it on the tip of the tree.
This is just such a fun parade, and I love that. Again, they keep their stars on parade, so you really get 3 total parades a day, but 2 Christmas. And these are some of my favorite characters. Are like the
Gingerbread, Mickey, and Minnie.
Yeah, I mean those are so fun, and it's like I don't know,
They're just cute. They just have a look about them.
They have plush. You were going to buy plush. Did you ever buy it?
I did not. But I
need
think
to go back
they
for
sell
Christmas.
those year round. Yes, we need to go back and get my plush.
I'm ready to go back for Christmas already. I love the parade so much. And there's Clarice and Chip and Dale, and they're all baking. And
This is where your
yeah.
favorite, this is sort of the same type of float that your favorite character of all at the Walt Disney World one would be the scrumptious character.
Well, she is actually here, but not
Clarabelle,
singing.
yes, she'll make an appearance.
But fortunately, not singing the scrumptious song.
Unfortunately.
No, fortunately. And here you have Pooh, Tigger, Rabbit, Piglet, and Eeyore, and they are delivering the mail.
Yes, well, they're all sending letters to Santa Claus, of course.
Yes, and they all have that. Well, they're not sending, they're the post. They have like postman hats on.
Maybe they're delivering the mail.
That's what I was saying. They're delivering the mail, probably that kids are sending, and they're really fun as well.
Yeah, it's an awesome parade. I never get sick of it. This is this float has your favorite, the clowns, but it has Huey, Dewey, and Louie up on the top, and they are great as always.
And they're always in the Halloween parade, and I guess they're probably always in the Christmas parade as well. I think they changed the Christmas parade last year to this parade. And also here you have the 3 little pigs, and especially that middle one. I don't know all their names, but that is the face of Christmas, you know.
Well, you're right. Last year was the first year for this Disneyland Paris Christmas Parade. That's what it's called. It used to be called a Christmas Fantasy, and that was a parade. They had a similar version of it at Walt Disney World, which stopped maybe about 13 or 14 years ago before Once Upon a Christmas Time made its debut.
And this one is just so bouncy and fun, and you'll see it's not that busy most of the days we were there. So you could see, like, you could just get a front row Main Street place.
We
when
probably
we
saw
were
it
there,
from every vantage all
lot
over
of
the
them.
park.
We saw it from a lot of them. And so we saw Woody and Buzz, and here we have the performers here, but then Max, Pluto, and Clarabelle.
And there she is, scrumptious.
No, she's not doing that. And then Pluto, really the first time or two, I don't even think I noticed him. He's sort of, up
He's
there
hard
above
to see.
them.
Yeah, he's high up there.
And he even has on his tail, I remember there was a flag of some sort, so I would have to look at that. But they were really fun, and you really just watch the parade on our YouTube channel. It's really, like, I just watch it over and over and over and over again.
And you can see it lights up at night. You could see the snowman's little buttons there are glowing. So if you happen to be there when they run it at night, I would bet it's even more impressive.
Oh, it's not a flag, it's a stocking. That's right.
Aha.
So, on his tail.
Christmas tree ladies.
And right, there's all sorts of performers in the parade, and you have snowmen here. And we're going to be coming up on Santa, but not only Santa
Yes,
will be.
even better than Santa. Although I do love these snowmen. They have a certain look about them. I know some people find them frightening, but I find them charming.
We have some friends who do, and they're very old style looking to me. And here we come up on the big float at the end.
It's like the bacon float for the Main Street Electrical Parade and the big long float.
And here we are with Santa, but then we also have Duffy, who is just, I wrote on Twitter, he's living his best life here at Disneyland Paris. He is just enjoying himself so much.
Duffy has never been happier. He now has a place to really shine.
Besides Tokyo. I mean,
yes, of course.
But, it was nice. I think he's been gone from the parade here for a couple of years, is what I was told. And also at the end, and I don't know if we'll see them.
We will see it.
The rope holders.
Mm-hmm.
There are guests who will go behind the rope holders. I'm not sure it will happen here, but a little bit. When it's busy, especially, like, people guests start kicking just as they do.
And look at Duffy. Did you see him? He was grabbing the snow. He's just so happy. As you said, he is living his best life. I have never seen Duffy so happy.
It was, you know what? It's really fun to see that. And just the whole parade makes me happy to see it even right now.
And the snow, I do love the snow effect. And another thing I should say about all of this Christmas, you don't have to pay an extra charge for it. It's included with your daily ticket, and they have 2 of these Christmas parades every single day. Plus, they still have the main parade, and then they have a tree lighting. I mean, you're going to see all the stuff they have, but it's really an amazing amount of entertainment for Christmas, all with the price of a regular ticket. Now we're going to talk about Victoria's, though, special menu for the holiday time.
Well, Victoria's Homestyle Cooking used to be more of a sandwich shop, and then they changed and didn't have any sandwiches. They just had shakes, and that was more for like over the summer.
In a bar, it was really, they call it a bar, so you don't get a discount.
Annual pass discount. So now right now for the holidays especially, and probably into, I would guess into spring, they have waffles. And Disneyland Paris really hasn't had Mickey waffles before. Now they have them at a cart outside. But here you can do specialty waffles, and then they have drinks as they've had both with and without alcohol.
Yeah, it's very exciting to have the Mickey waffles over there because, as you mentioned, not a thing. And they probably have seen all the Mickey waffles we've had here at Walt Disney World and Disneyland over the years. So very exciting to bring that in.
Well, I mean, it's kind of, a lot of our friends are excited, because you would think that's something that you could have every day, but there's a Mouse Party mug. They have so much merchandise for the world's biggest mouse party for Mickey's 90th.
Tons of stuff.
Probably dozens of items. And here they have this item that's just a Victoria's. Now, the soup was supposed to have a Mickey on it, and it doesn't quite look like a Mickey. It doesn't always
work. Sometimes it does, but not quite like the picture.
My waffle had Disneyland Paris honey on it, and then some nuts, and I don't know if it's sort of a raisiny type item on it.
Yes. Now, this is the first time I actually went to Victoria's twice. The first time with Axel and the second time with you, because I know you would never be ordering the salmon Mickey waffle, but Axel did, and there is his. He said he liked it. He said it was very good, fresh salmon. So that's something that I would have had. He didn't quite know what horseradish sauce was, but I told him it was give it a little, it would spice it up, like they like to say at the Polynesian, and he thought it was a good mix.
I probably wouldn't have horseradish on a waffle, but
right,
the honey,
it sounds odd.
The Disneyland Paris honey was very nice, and Disneyland Paris does make its own honey. This is a Nutella waffle, and if you've ever been to Paris, you'll know, or if you've never been to Paris, you won't know maybe, that Nutella and hazelnut is such a big flavor and such a popular item over in France.
Yeah, I did have the Nutella one, but I have to say the honey was my favorite of the 2 I tried.
It probably a little bit lighter, and then the soup was very good. It's like a vegetable soup. They need to work on the Mickey, but it was very tasty.
Now, we also had a wonderful lunch at Walt's, and we're not going to get into that and show all the food and everything. We're just going to show the decorations in the lobby, and I think they did a very nice job of doing a little Christmas overlay to it.
Well, it was, it's very, I don't want to say sedate, just Christmassy, not over. Yes, very nice. And Walt's is really one of my favorite restaurants here, although they don't, I think they used to be more of have seasonal menus where they don't as much now.
Right. I agree with you. I would have liked to see a special Christmas menu added or something. They did have a Mickey menu, 90th anniversary item for Mickey Mouse, but I would have loved to see a special Christmas menu.
Well, I would like to see every few months them change the menus up a little bit more. So this is Let's Sing Christmas. Disneyland Paris, between all of it, the shows and parade, it's like 8 different shows in the parade.
This one's only on the weekend, though.
Yes, and this was really very nice. It's, again, called Let's Sing Christmas. I wasn't really sure what to expect. I hadn't seen any videos on it. But you have performers. It's sort of like the Voices of Liberty. And then this opens up, and you said to me, it's like the Candlelight Procession.
Yeah, it's a full chorus. Again, like you, I didn't know anything about this. I was just told it's something that I must check out. And I got there about an hour early. I had a front row center seat, and I got to talking to a gentleman there that is involved in one of the choruses. These choruses all come from England, from London.
Well, it's the Disney Performing Arts. I don't know if all of them, all of the choruses would come from England, but at least this one did. And it plays in Videopolis. And, then Mickey comes out, and I thought, oh, well, that's really nice that they bring Mickey out. And, it offers a little bit more. But we're not even done yet with characters.
Oh yeah, yeah. You have Minnie coming out, and of course a big surprise later on. And I won't give up that surprise.
Well,
but
he was on the
oh
poster,
yes,
so I don't
Santa,
think it's
Santa Goofy will make an appearance.
But this was just such a lovely show, and here comes Mickey and Minnie, and they sing a lot of Christmas classics. I'm not sure how long the show was, about 20 minutes maybe?
Yeah, about 20-25 minutes. It's a good amount of show. Again, really entertaining, but you really need to get, if you want to see this show really, really early, I would say no less than 45 minutes early, because all the people that are in the performing here in the chorus, they all have families, and the families are all in the theater. So even before any guests there, the theater's pretty full with just the families.
And I hadn't thought about that with Candlelight Processional before, but there's a lot of families who buy like dinner packages and such, and that's probably why there's so many dinner packages sold now. But there is Santa Goofy, so you have Mickey, Minnie, and Goofy who are all part of this. And I thought that was really nice. It was unexpected for me. I just thought I was going to hear some nice Christmas music, and instead it's even more than that.
Yeah, very nice. And again, snow. Snow is a motif you're going to see quite a bit here at Disneyland Paris. Almost every show has an element of snow.
Even though they really have snow
Yeah,
sometimes
that's true.
there.
We got very lucky on one of the days. Look at how beautiful it looked. Some of our French friends said that is extremely rare to have a sky like that.
Most of the time we were there, it was very gray and very little blue. There was a little blue on 2 days, one of them very nice, and there is, I don't know, Santa Charlie.
Santa Charlie. I love how the horse has the Santa hat. That is something you definitely don't see at Walt Disney World or Disneyland. And of course they have the nice Christmas decorations on the horse car.
And even on this very sort of blue day, it was starting to turn a little gray. But here is Central Plaza, and here you have like Donald and Daisy. And these were blue for the 25th anniversary. I just think they look so much nicer now.
Now, I think this is the Stitchmas show.
Merry Stitchmas. And Disneyland Paris calls this a seasonal show crammed with Christmas goodness. And I really...
That sounds like something I would say.
I know. It's very funny because if you look at the Disneyland Paris site, you can tell from some of the wording that it's UK, from the UK, that's who's writing this.
Mm-hmm.
But I especially like the word crammed. I mean, that's the verb you use, right?
Yes.
And but you have Stitch here, and Mickey and Minnie are trying to teach Stitch the meaning of Christmas. It's sort of like, a Totally Tomorrowland Christmas where, Haley Comet and the others are, trying to teach. For some reason, Stitch always needs a lesson in Christmas.
Well, he was not as naughty. He wasn't trying to track down Santa and catch him in this show, at least.
That's probably for the best. I only saw this once. I mean, just with everything, I was a little slower this trip, but I was glad to see it, and I would like to see it again. I would definitely like to get back to Disneyland Paris.
Well, this show is, again, very popular. I had to get there. What I did is I got there before the previous show had ended and just stayed in the area. And as soon as the previous show to this ended, I was able to go up to the front row, and I just waited probably about a half an hour, and I had a nice front row center seat. So you have to sort of plan. If you don't care about having a front area, I would say to get there maybe 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes in advance. You will not be in the front, so if you're not tall, it'll be a little harder to see it, but I would put the time in because it really is a great show, and it's just a lot of fun. And also, if you're not in the front, you're not going to have a good view of the performers when they come out like this off the stage.
There's really, so much entertainment here for the holidays. I mean, just an incredible amount. And, we were there for a week, and it was plenty of time normally, but it's still, like, there's a lot of things I wanted to see more than once, like the parade or the Mickey's Big Band Christmas, which was awesome.
We'll talk about that next week.
And this as well. This was just so much fun, and really a good day for it as well. I mean, look at that sky. It was just gray the whole time, except for little bits of time.
This was the absolute best day and the best show I could have picked. So sometimes things work out, and every other day it was rainy and gloomy, and it just wouldn't have been as good. So glad we did this on this particular day.
And I didn't mind the gloom because when it was gloomy out, all you would see the Christmas lights better. So no matter what, it was always festive. but just differently festive.
Right. And again, I like the finale here. They incorporate some of the water that is used in the illumination show to really set the finale. So very, very good.
And by illuminations, you mean Disney Illuminations,
Yes.
which is at Disneyland Paris, not
Projection show,
Illuminations
that's right.
from Epcot, which will be ending next year. This is the last year for the holiday tag.
So this was a surprise that you or I, neither of us knew about or anticipated. The It's a Small World has a holiday overlay, but they don't advertise it. They don't talk about it. But it's sort of like a light version of the one they have at Disneyland in California.
This was a very nice surprise because I miss not being in California for it this year. I really love the holidays in California as well. But this was it, like at night. I guess they used to have a Santa hat and all, and there was probably a time when I knew that they had some sort of overlay, but I didn't think that they had that now. And they have some really nice lighting at night. And I'm going to say the teacups also had some nice lighting that I'm not sure that you got. Red and green lights. It looked really beautiful. But coming into here, it was just wonderful. And you hear the music that you would hear at Disneyland.
Small World Holiday.
And it's not to the extent of Disneyland. It's not like everything is holiday, but there's quite a bit here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you'll see a lot of the special characters, special outfits, different scenes. I mean, scenes that are completely new, but it's just not over the top. As you mentioned, Disneyland, they have thousands of lights, inside and all these different props. So as we said, it's a light version, but it's a charming and fun version. And I think this Small World is my favorite of the Small Worlds that I have seen. Disneyland, Walt Disney World, and Disneyland Paris. This one to me is the best.
Do you think so?
I do.
I think my favorite is still Disneyland's. I mean, I like both of these, and I mean, we're looking, and there's actually quite a few dolls dressed up for Christmas and the holidays and such, like right here. But again, not like at Disneyland, it really is just like everywhere.
And here, I think we're about to see a little Hanukkah section.
So I mean, it's really nice. Everything sort of, there's a whole bunch of probably different faiths included in this. And of course, the regular scenes as well. And definitely check it out. If you're at Disneyland Paris, they don't mention it. You won't know it's here. Just get on the ride. And I think Christmas ends January 6, 2019. And I assume this Small World holiday, that's not really Small World holiday, will end then.
And there's a little horse with the Santa Claus hat. They should have a Halloween version of Small World.
What would they do? What would you do?
You can have all of them in costumes. It would
All
be
of
very
them.
yes, all the characters. That would be cool.
And here is that you've got a horse and Santa, and really up here, this is a lot harder for me to photograph, but the Hollywood scene, you have them also in kind of a Christmas outfits there as well.
And you'll notice there is a U.S., you have Hollywood here. You just saw the Statue of Liberty, all this stuff. That's what is unique about this Small World, at least of the ones I've done, where you have the United States represented.
Yeah, I just really, I really like this Small World version. And then, of course, every Small World that I've been on kind of ends with this
Sort of the
room.
White Room, I call it.
Yeah, and it's really nice too. You see Christmas elements, and while I'm looking at this, it's like there's even a lot more Christmas and holidays than I even thought there was.
Oh yeah. It's not a tiny afterthought. It's really good.
Well, they should say something about it. Like, why don't you put it on the map so that everybody knows?
Surprise and delight.
That might be it.
Surprise and delight, I say.
But we may not have known about it if it hadn't been for Matthias. We may never have written it.
Yes, Matthias, thanks very much
Yes.
for telling us. And now we're going to look at some of the nice Main Street USA lighting at night.
And certainly Sleeping Beauty Castle, it's very sparkly, very pretty. It doesn't quite compare to our castle here in Orlando and Lake Buena Vista, but it's still beautiful. And then they do have a tree lighting ceremony as well. And by ceremony, I mean they have really a ceremony, and sometimes they have it twice a night.
Yeah, now they used to have a tree lighting over at Epcot, and they'd have singers, the Voices of Liberty, but this is really quite the production there with dancers and singers and Mickey and Minnie. And I think there's going to be a surprise appearance by another famous celebrity as well.
I'm not sure I would say celebrity, but this is very nice. You want to get here, you you got here early.
45 minutes early. 45 seems to be the magic number if you want to get a front row center spot for just about anything. Although for the
Not the
sing-along,
parade.
it was a full hour.
And really if you go down Main Street further and don't wait for this, it's actually very interesting to watch the garland as it changes lighting with the tree. So for me, I didn't wait at all, and I just kind of watched it from afar, and I didn't have this view. But it was really kind of fun to see that.
Right. Oh, here comes that celebrity I mentioned. It's Santa Claus, Kris Kringle himself. You cannot light the tree
Père
without
Noël.
Santa. Oh, yes, Père Noël. Père Noël. How can I forget? But, and here he is. So, and I think they're about to actually light the tree. And what you said is very true. This is something worth seeing multiple times from multiple areas. Again, if you don't need to be in the front row, anywhere around Town Square, you could kind of see it. And especially down Main Street, I think is very nice.
And the lights were probably on all day long, so they must have turned them off so they could turn
yes,
them back
they
on
slowly
again.
dim them. There are nights when they have 2 tree lighting, so I always think that's funny. They turn off the tree to relight it.
And then when you get there in the morning, it's still lit
Still lit.
until like the tree lighting time. But this is really very nice, very pretty. I can see it in our video better than I ended up seeing it. I didn't spend a lot of time waiting for things.
Very understandable, and I'm okay with waiting. I actually waited an hour for the Goofy projection show at Walt Disney Studios. We'll talk about all the studio stuff next week.
Along with some other things here from, including Disney After Hours while we're talking about that. That's something that we just did. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Something like
I don't remember, something like that.
And that was back here in Florida.
Yes, so we actually have a fair bit of Florida to talk about and not just Paris next week.
So there was another little bonus. This is not Christmas, but this is a special Mickey 90th anniversary projection, sort of like a pre-show to the Illuminations show. And that's what they call their nighttime show, as we mentioned earlier. It's called Illuminations.
Disney Illuminations. And this is celebrating 90 years of Mickey. And it really is a 5-minute or so show, but it's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's shown before the Illuminations every single night. So about 10 minutes before the Disney Illuminations show starts, you'll see this Mickey show.
And some of our friends were disappointed that there wasn't much of anything on the day of Mickey's 90th, but they have actually several fantastic offerings. This is one of them. So while they didn't have it on the day and they didn't have buttons and such, this was really nice. And also
Cupcake Ladies.
Well,
that's supposed to be part of
the Cupcake Ladies have been around now for a couple months, but also the show Surprise Mickey.
Oh, I love Surprise. We're going to talk about that next week as well.
That's a terrific show as well. There's a lot going on at Disneyland Paris, and there's so much to see. And what I love about Disneyland Paris while we're looking at this is while some of our friends wish there were more new rides, they have so many entertainment offerings during the year. Like, we'll probably miss Pirates and Princess, but I really want to see Pirates and Princess.
Well, it'll be different because they'll all be dressed. We learned that they're going to have special winter outfits. So it'll be a very different type of Pirate and Princess show than kind of the summer version we saw.
Well, I don't even remember hearing that, but because they're starting in January, I wouldn't be surprised, but I would love to see that.
And there's a very quick look at the gingerbread house in the Disneyland Hotel.
And it really smells like gingerbread in here. They don't sell gingerbread in the lobby like they do at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort. I think they sell a little bit in the shop, but that was really beautiful. And I went into the Disneyland Hotel a few times. It was just lovely, and that's just it smells like Disneyland Hotel. Like if I close my eyes,
you can bring up that smell. Me too.
Yes, and but anyway, it was a wonderful trip. That right before we got on the plane, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I'm glad it did. It was a really nice time. I ate a lot of Starbucks pancakes because they do that there. It was very nice. And thank you to MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travels for sponsoring us. Thank you for listening. I know I don't sound as upbeat as, not that I'm the most upbeat person, but I'm just sort of,
Well, we're in the middle. We're right kind of in the middle time of all this.
Kind of getting ready and everything to head up to DC. And but Disneyland Paris is so worth talking about. They did they're doing such a great Christmas. So if there's any way that you can head over there, you could talk to MEI Travel. Or you might be in the UK, or I just.
And this is just half of it. Some of the best stuff is going to be next week. Mickey's Big Band, as you mentioned,
Mickey's
the
Big
surprise
Band
Mickey
Christmas,
show.
yes. There's so much there.
The Goofy projection show at night. There's so many things at the Disney studios. And of course, there's always the Mickey's Ding Dang Dingle, whatever that thing
I don't know what it's called.
It was a show.
Yes, that was a show.
Definitely was a show.
And also the Remy area where you can meet Remy.
Oh, the Gourmand, yes. Oh, boy.
We never saw Linguini, though. You're supposed to meet Linguini also, but he wasn't out when we were over there. But Remy and Emile were out there. But not just the Gourmand, but the whole Remy area was very beautiful.
Yeah, so all that coming up next week, plus the After
Disney
Dark,
After-
Disney After Dark from, is it? No, After
Disney
Hours.
After
I
Hours.
always say that. Disney's After Hours at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
And that was really a fun event for a few hours. And I'm sure we'll have some other stuff to talk about too that I can't even remember right now.
So anyway, thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.